Hey, it's Gorilla back with another winter DIY. Well, actually, it's my first one. And for this DIY, we're going to be recreating this winter sweater because someone actually asked me to do an in-depth tutorial on it, and of course I will. I love this. It's such an easy DIY if you're someone who is just starting out because all you're doing is replacing the sleeves. And honestly, I have so many sweaters and sweatshirts that were donated to me. I really need to make more of these, so let's get into this. I'm going to be using the sweatshirt and sweater, but please ignore how linty that sweater came out. I don't know why it's so linty. It collects lint very easily. I just need a lint roller, okay? And then I'm also using this sweatshirt. The first step is just cutting off the sleeves. So all you're doing is going in and cutting around the sleeves, which is like just so easy. And you specifically want to cut around it and not through the seam. There's a seam connected to the sweatshirt, which I'll show you, like right there. Do you see that seam? You want to keep that seam on it because we're going to use it as seam allowance. And then this is what the sleeve looks like off. So funky looking, right? Afterwards, I just repeated the same steps to the other sleeve. So right now I'm just like trying to cut it off, and this is what it looks like completely off. Now we're getting into the fun part of using the sweatshirt. This sweater is actually by H&M, which we love because they have such cute stuff. But getting back to the DIY, you want to lay your sweater down and then put your sweatshirt over it. You want to slightly pull the armhole and kind of match it where it matches the sweater in the same width, even if it's on the shoulder seam. You also want to place your sleeve down and make sure it's the same length or shorter than your actual sweater. Afterwards, I went in and marked it with my chalk, and to make it really easy, you just have to cut it in a straight line. So I tried chalking it out, and honestly, my chalk was not doing justice. It was not coming out, but luckily it was black, so it was kind of easy to see. Now I'm just like checking to see if the lengths kind of meet up, which they do like perfectly, so we love that. Afterwards, I cut it and I made sure I left a half an inch more for seam allowance. Like, you need seam allowance. Don't forget that or it'll come out too short. Honestly, this was a lot harder to cut than it seemed. And this is a little close-up of the half an inch that I added to show you. You don't have to do an half an inch. You could do less or more. It's totally up to you. But cutting the other sleeve is really easy. All I did was lay the sweater sleeve on top of the other sweater sleeve. I let the seams meet. I know it's really hard to see, but there's seams right there. You just make sure they match, and then you cut out the exact shape of the other one. So you're just cutting straight across so they equal in length. And this is what the sweater looks like afterwards. It looks kind of cool, to be honest, like a little sweater vest. Gotta think about what I'm gonna do with that. And this is what the sleeves look like. Mine actually came out crooked. I don't know why, but luckily the material is really thick, so I don't think you can tell. And putting this together is going to be super easy. Next part is just pinning. Wait, right before we get into pinning, we actually have to overlock the outer edges. So when you're overlocking, you want to make sure that you are pushing the fabric in, because if you pull the fabric, it's going to come out stretched, and you don't want that because it's not going to fit in correctly. And this is a little clip of me overlocking. I look crazy, I know. Just ignore my appearance. And moving on to the next step, this is what the overlocking looked like afterwards, and it's going to help it frame. So to make the exact same seam I did in this one, it's different. So what I did was I put the sweater under the sweatshirt and I pinned it. Just like that. I'm going to repeat it so you can see it again. Sweatshirt over sweater about a half an inch, and then I pinned it. And you're going to do the same all the way around and then you're going to sew it with a zigzag stitch. Personally, I am not doing that effect on this one. I want it to look different. But if you want that effect, it'll look like the purple sweater. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the shoulder seams and I'm letting them meet up because this looks a lot more professional when you sew it this way. And then I'm just pinning it with like sides together. After, I'm going to repeat the same process with the bottom seam because I want the two seams to meet up. Then I flipped it over because it's a lot easier to pin this way, and I'm just going to kind of stretch my material so that way it fits, because obviously the knitted material did stretch when I sewed it. So luckily the sweatshirt material stretches too, so as I'm sewing I just need to like stretch it so it all like fits in. But all I'm doing here is just pinning all the way across like I was doing before and making it all fit in nice and neat. And afterwards, I wound up repeating the same process to the other side, which I'm not going to show you because it's just going to be boring. When I'm done, it looked like this, and then this is what the other side looks like. So when I'm done sewing it, it's basically just going to look like that. And a little close-up of me sewing, literally just sewing a regular stitch, and I'm trying to follow the same line on there because I used that as my seam allowance. That way it didn't come out too small. I am so sorry too about the incoming clips. My camera is glitching, so it keeps going on and off, so the lighting is like very opposites, but you'll see when we get there. So the next thing I want to do, because it's me, I wanted to do like a cool design to add on to it. Make this video a little longer so you can see how my DIY process goes. So I decided I wanted to add a little knit asymmetrical moment here. My camera glitched and it deleted me like cutting all of this. So right now I'm trying to get the same pattern I have on the front on the back, and by doing that I thought I should probably add pins to the front and like flip it over and trace it to the other side. And oh my gosh, this clip is so blinding. I hope I edited it okay. But like this is me trying to like copy down the design based off of the pins I just put in there, which it looks a little wonky, but we're gonna work with it. I think it'll work. And afterwards I just like cut it off. So I mean, it's done. Like I cut this, so it's either gonna come out really good or really bad, and I'm like hoping for the best. Now we're moving on to the sweater, which I kind of wanted to keep that way, but I guess I'm not going to because I'm going to use it for the midsection of the sweatshirt. So I'm just adding my pins and I'm going to be cutting all the way across. Also, I'm so sorry. I think these clips are a little blurry, which is so annoying. I don't know why they are. I think when it glitched, it messed with the focusing because like I focused it before. I'm also like losing my voice again, if you can't tell. Like my voice was so much better at the beginning of this video and now I just sound like sick again. If you saw my last video, oh my god, I was so sick. Anyways, this is my little blob I cut out and I overlocked the edges so it came out a little funky looking, but we're gonna see if it works. So this is me trying to figure out how I'm supposed to pin this back into this sweatshirt because it is just so weird looking. Honestly, probably should have did straight lines because that would have been way easier to pin back in, but I had to be complicated and use them curvy lines because I wanted some curvy seams. But so far it's looking good. It looks like I'm getting a hang of it and it's actually matching up really well, so I think I might have did it good. Let's see when I like sew it together. And now I'm just taking the pins out and this is what it kind of looks like. You can see the like the stitching line in it. And when I pull it, so this will help me pin this part. I have to pin the waistband now, and oh gosh, I hope this fits because like high hopes, you know? So I'm pinning it across, all the way across, and I noticed it is a little longer, so I'm gonna like try and get it out, like incorporate it somehow in the pocket and just like cut all the extra off. And now I'm pinning the pocket because I'm gonna have to sew that down because that's my last thing I have to do. And I also wanted to cut out more of the pocket because I wanted more of the knit fabric to be in the pocket, so it kind of looks like the knit fabric is the pocket. Oh my gosh, that was so hard to say. Anyways, this is how it came out. I actually really like it. Just ignore how linty it is again because I didn't get to lint roll it. But the sweater sleeves look amazing. Oh my god, that's like a tongue twister. And I really like the design on the bottom with the knit material, and the back I really love. I wish I made it bigger, like the asymmetrical back design, and then the side with the pocket, I'm dying. Like I love it. Comment down what you think of it, if this DIY was easy to do, and I love to hear the feedback from you. And if you love DIYs or sustainable fashion, definitely like and follow to see more from me because I have videos coming out every week. I know it's kind of random, but I try to do it weekly. And oh my gosh, I guess I'll see you in my next video.